Hi traders, welcome to the weekly Forex video. My name is Chris and this video is brought to you by Admiral Markets. Today taking a look at the pound dollar bearish momentum, but also an interesting falling wedge on the euro dollar. More on that in just a second. First of all though, two disclaimers. The first one explaining that this video is shown to a global audience but may not be suitable for everyone. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence and contact the appropriate entity to find out if it is suitable for you. Second of all, please note that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. This is my view right now, and you can see that I have a fib from here to here, and that's because price is in strong momentum to the upside. So I consider that to be a wave 3, and this could be a wave 4. Specifically, this could be a wave 4 if price starts to build a choppy kind of corrective pattern, which so far it has been doing. So I'm expecting either the 23.6 fib or the 38.2 fib to be bouncing spots of that wave 4 and a wave 5 to occur with one new higher high. So for the moment though, the most important aspect of that is that price could stop at the 23.6 or the 38.2 fib or even the 50, although that's a bit less likely considering a choppy wave 4 typically. So will price bounce or break the third 23.6 fib? That's the main question. A bearish breakout could see price fall down to the 38.2 fib. That in turn could be a bouncing spot at 115. Or if price does not break but rather bounces at the 23.6 fib, there could be a bounce up to the R2, test the trend line and this resistance spot, and that could be again a bounce, bearish bounce or bullish breakout spot. If it does break again for the second time, then price could be an uptrend, back in the uptrend, and could be ready to make at least retest this top and maybe make a new higher high. So that's kind of the decision tree I think that the euro dollar will have to go through. At this moment, it is in a falling wedge, which is a bullish reversal signal. Of course, those are difficult patterns to trade, but basically if it breaks the falling wedge, then there could be the breakout trade as I discussed already, for the move up to 119, and that could be then a new decision zone for another bullish breakout to retest the top, or maybe a bearish bounce to go back to test the fibs. So that's kind of the outlook I'm looking for. Will it break this wedge to the downside? Then it will have to break below 116.75, this bottom, and the S1 basically. So I'll be looking for a break on this 4-hour chart, good 4-hour candle. I would zoom in probably to intraday time frames and look for a bear flag and continuation down to 115, and then during this week there could be that space between 117 and 115 for some intraday, intra-week bearish trades. However, if it stays above S1, and specifically if it breaks above the weekly pivot point, then yes, there could be good trades to the upside. Here too, I would be looking for some kind of 4-hour candlestick pattern to confirm that. Looking for a bull flag on lower time frames and for upside. For those that are maybe looking at daily time frames instead, we do have a bullish candle. So at this moment, I think an upside is more likely. So if it stays above the S1, even without breaking the weekly pivot point, I think that this could be a retracement for that bounce to the upside. Just looking at this daily candlestick pattern at the support at 117. But basically, of course, if there is today, tomorrow, Wednesday, a bullish candle that is breaking through this falling wedge, then that would also be a confirmation, and a halfway retracement of that candle could see a breakout continuation to the R2 as mentioned at about 118.75, 119. So that is about it. We can take a look one more time at the 4-hour chart. So basically, as I already mentioned, the daily candle is looking bullish. So this could be a retracement of that bullish candle. So if we then zoom into the hourly chart, what could happen is that I was talking about breakouts, right? Breakouts below this bottom basically, or breakouts above the trend line and weekly pivot point. But what could also happen is that price kind of makes a choppy downside here, hits one of these fibs, turns around, and then breaks out to the upside. So at this moment, I'm seeing the euro dollar as bullish. I consider these fibs to be support levels. And I think that that is a bouncing spot potential before price breaks above the falling wedge to the upside. So more or less, these are my trade ideas. A break to the downside below S1, excuse me, a bounce at the fibs for upside within this falling wedge, or the break of the falling wedge for a breakout to the upside. So those are my main thoughts on the euro dollar. But we'll keep an eye on this euro dollar, of course, throughout the week. Basically, we have live webinars coming up today with Nenet. We have live webinars tomorrow where I take a look at patterns as well. And Wednesday we have 2 sessions, in fact. So plenty of times we'll be taking a look at the euro dollar again to see if there are any new developments on this front. And of course, Thursday we have an educational webinar taking a look at naked candlestick trading. So hope to see you in one or all of these webinars. Pound versus the dollar 1 hour chart, and basically we saw an acceleration of this particular currency pair, which you can see with the oscillator here, right there, the strongest lower low on that oscillator, as confirming basically the price lower low as well. So this could be just a retracement for more downside. That's my main view at the moment, and I think this looks pretty good setup from my perspective. There's a decent chance that price will continue lower. What I'm waiting for basically is the confirmation of price to stop at this 38.2 fib or the 50, which of course also has a weekly pivot point there. Both areas could be good resistance spots, and I'm waiting for a turnaround, basically a bearish candlestick pattern at these fibs on the hourly chart, maybe even better on the 4-hour chart, just to get some more confirmation in this zone for more downside and one more lower low at least, if not more. 130, of course, is a round level to be aware of, to be careful of. So there could be some bounce there. So for the moment, I think that's the main target. But you know, we never know how far this could push. It is a strong downtrend at the moment, showing strong bearish momentum. So 130 could be just the closest target, but not necessarily the main target. We'll have to update this throughout the week. In our live webinars, we will take a look again. But for the moment, I think this bearish bounce at 131.25, 131.50, you know, looking pretty good from my point of view if we get candlestick patterns. If we don't, and price starts just pushing through this, right, breaking above the weekly pivot point, then, well, something else is going on, and I would be careful with the downside. Of course, these deeper fibs could still be resistance, but ultimately, you know, it would be odd from my perspective if it goes that deep, so I'll be more careful, because in that case, we have downside, but we have kind of a V-valley reversal almost, or at least bullish momentum, which is not really a strong bearish signal. So also be basically breaking above this resistance trend line. So I would prefer if it stayed in this zone for one more lower low. If it really breaks above that, I am cautious and waiting on the sidelines for the moment, trying to get more info, and we'll update that throughout the week. So yeah, basically looking for a turn on this 4-hour chart and seeing if it can make a new lower low from this region right here. Also, one more thing, by the way, is this trend line, right? It's making a little bit of a channel to the upside at this moment. It's a bit steep for a bear flag, but this channel could break, of course, when if price stops at this zone, and I should use a red circle. So if it does stop at the zone and then breaks below this channel, the break, pullback, continue, by the way, could also be a way of trading this particular bearish structure. Last but not least, the dollar-yen basically is going sideways, so no trend at this moment. But looking at the bigger structure, we can take a look at the daily chart for that. It's retesting this resistance trend line. There's some tops in here, so whether it's now or a bit higher, I think price is at a pretty strong resistance zone. And if it does make a bounce from that, we did have a good bearish candle on Friday, by the way. Look at that big wick and the bearish close near the low. So if it does break through the support level, I think that there could be a retracement down to the 38.2 fib, eventually maybe even all the way down to this 61.8 fib. So there could be a 3-wave move down like this, and that could then again be a bouncing spot for upside. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened either here or a bit higher. You know, from a weekly perspective, even if price pushed a little bit higher, you see that there is a bit of resistance up around 114.50, 115, right? Those purple lines. So even if it were to push a little bit higher, I still think that there's a chance that it will make that hook back before making the upside like this. All right, so that's what I'm expecting for the dollar yen, is basically this correction down to the 61, maybe 50 fib before making an upside. So from a trade perspective, I don't see any particular trade right now, but if it did show a bearish candlestick pattern 4-hour chart, daily chart right here, up in this zone, 114.50, 115, I would be interested. Or if it shows a breakout here, right, breakout, pullback, continuation, down to the 38, that could be an interesting reversal trade. And on the hourly chart, perhaps if it fails around here, that's a bit risky, but could be a trade, because this is a big range, a bit risky, but could be something to think about. I might think about that too, but it would have to be a clear kind of three-wave pattern before I would trade something like that. All right, well, I hope to see you in the webinars, of course, and the analysis you can check out on admiralmarkets.com. There you can find out a lot more. By the way, some of the things you saw, the indicators you saw, you can download through MT4 Supreme Edition, so check that out if you like. And of course, hope to see you soon and wish you good trading. Cheers.